in this interview, we talked to Kareem. He went from being told 50 times from prospective clients, absolutely not, I am not interested in doing business with you, to making, fast forward to now, to making $79,000 in 60 days. He tells us how he did it. He tells us how me and him were in the trenches together, how we used to work 12-hour, 15-hour work days, and basically how we didn't take no for an answer and we just kept pushing. Watch this video, drop a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment if you found anything valuable. Thanks so much. This is Joe Garcia back again with the Confessions of a Closer, episode number 3. Here is going to be very special. Why? Because Kareem Al Mufti is here in the house. He's out in Virginia. He is my brother. Kareem, tell us what you're doing right now. Tell us who you are and what you were doing before real estate.
Yeah. So first off, thank you, Joey, for having me on. You're my brother as well. This is super exciting to be here. So my name's Kareem Al Mufti. I live in Northern Virginia. It's where I sell real estate. I've been in real estate for 2 years now, actually since, 2 years and 1 month to be exact. Got started in July of 2023. And what was I doing before this was the question, right?
Yes.
So before I got started in real estate, I did a bunch of different things. I had my mind here, there goes my lights, but it doesn't matter. I was everywhere. But before this, I was reselling electronics mainly. But I was reselling clothing and all these other items as well. But my niche was electronics. I started doing that in my senior year of high school. So this is like 2019. And even before that, I was always in some kind of little entrepreneurial thing. I was, mowing people, or not mowing. I was shoveling people's snow in the winter, power washing. I was always interested in business, just in general. And then that later developed into selling electronics on the internet, and I did a bunch of Amazon. I was that guy that was doing drop shipping, Amazon, FBA, everything you can name. And then I decided to get into real estate sales.
So what you said a lot there. You were wearing a lot of different hats. What was important to you about that? Like why were you doing so many different things, like but the entrepreneurial route?
Yeah. So, and I can answer that question a couple ways, but why it was important for me to do that, for myself, I love business. I love building businesses. I just love learning about business, and I love it. I love building things. That's just what I enjoy doing, and I love to see myself grow and make money at the same time. It's super addicting to me. And at that moment of time, my whole goal was to make money. I was like, what machine can I create to make money? That was my brain. I'd be like, how can I make $276 a day, which I think is like $100,000 a year? And then how do I scale past that? But I was always getting capped out at certain points in my life and in terms of like income, and I wasn't really having any breakthroughs. And then one day I was sitting in my parents' basement packaging up electronics I was about to send off to eBay that I probably just got from the thrift store or something. And I was watching Alex Hormozy, and he talked about skill stacking, right? Which is essentially means getting skill sets, stacking them on top of each other, and then multiplying them by leverage, which is either human leverage or, money leverage, equals how much money you make. And then it clicked. I was like, I've been solving for just money this whole time when I should have been solving for skill set. So that's when it took me down the rabbit hole of, oh, wait, I have no skill set, which is why I'm not really making the money I want. Why I don't have the business I want. Why I don't have the life I want while I'm still at my parents' house. So that's what led me to discover sales and decide that sales was going to be what I learned as my skill set, which then led to real estate.
Wait, so you're telling me right now that real estate is not just opening doors and doing open houses? Real estate is sales? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, yeah, it is. I think, it's a surprise, shocker for most agents that sell 2 to 3 houses a year. But yeah, it's a lot more than just, being a door opener.
So, I definitely agree with that. But how did that lead you to like real estate though? Like, how did that rabbit hole of the skills, the leverage, Alex Hormozy, we both love him. How did that lead you to real estate?
So it's interesting. Once I figured out my issue was I didn't have a skill set, I made a list. I wrote it down. I probably still have it in my journal of different skill sets I can learn. I was like, I can do engineering. I can do like finance. I can do sales. I can do accounting. There's all these different things. And I think I Googled like what billionaires studied in college or something, or what their career started out as. And it was sales and engineering, I think is what I found. It's like, I'm not going to be an engineer, so I'm going to do sales. Plus, I was kind of already in sales. Also, I already had my real estate license at this time because this was in 2022. Or no, this was I think this is like 2023. I mean, in 2021, 2022, I got my license because I thought I was going to start flipping houses. See, this is how distracted I was back then. I was doing I was literally like shiny object syndrome, like number one. So I had my real estate license before, but not to be a real estate agent because I wanted to flip houses. So I figured why not just get it. So what led me into doing real estate was I looked at other sales industries. I looked into digital marketing and all these other ones. So I figured, you know what? Real estate already interests me. I've been watching like Bigger Pockets and these investment type of videos before. And I had my real estate license already. And I knew a mentor in the business local. So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to do this one.
And then you just jumped in. So fast forward to like July 2023, you get into the business. How quickly did you realize that real estate was more demanding than what it was? And like when do you seek for like mentorship? Because that's when we connected, when you sought for
Yeah.
mentorship.
So how like quickly did I realize it was hard, and when did I seek mentorship? So I actually got started in like probably, I'm getting so analytical here, but like the second week of June is when I went to my Weichert office. But I actually got mentorship right away. Literally in like my third week of July, middle of July is when I joined the Brandon group.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
quick,
And I joined Brandon back in May, and that's exactly how we got connected. I think,
yep,
we got connected, and it's crazy because our paths are so similar, our stories are so similar. The
yeah,
first 6 months, we were just like we were because this is the progression. We met each other, then we became role play partners, then we became really, really good friends. And throughout that first 6 months of you being an entrepreneur, and you starting this real estate business, you're just like, fuck, like what's going
yeah,
on? This is not working. I'm saying the wrong things over the phone. When I meet with these people, like they don't have the time of day for me. Like, what's going on?
yeah.
And me and you, it was so funny because we were just like in the trenches together. We would share losses, and then when we finally got that win, we were like, finally, it's about goddamn time.
Oh, oh
So
my God. Yeah.
how was that though? Like how was like, being in the trenches with somebody at the same time, same age, same charisma, same desire, same ambition. How was that?
It was honestly, I feel like it was God. I feel like God put us in each other's paths because it's so difficult just by itself. It's such a difficult thing to do when you have someone that's literally like, you know, running through the fire with you, that's experienced, that's at your timeline, not like a year ahead or 2 years. Like, no, like they literally just started with you. They are experiencing the same development issues that you're facing as well. And like you might get here and then you're like, yo, do this thing. This is how you get to this level. You get here. Dude, like this thing, if you just change this, you get to this level. And it was like bang, 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 bang. And like we just started to like really grow and get through that. So it was very exciting.
And the good thing about us too, like neither of us came from a place of ego. Like
No.
and the reason why is because me and Kareem have had shared so many days where we're on the dialer, we're on the Discord, we're on the
Yep.
Discord for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, and we're just trying to figure it out. Like our conversation in the beginning used to be like, yo, Kareem, I think we should say this word instead of this word. And our conversations now is like, yo, Kareem, when we start making $10 million, this is because of XYZ. We're talking about leverage pieces. We're talking about service. We're talking about this. We're talking about brand. The conversations are so different. And I've never, ever felt that like if I win, Kareem is going to be like, oh, fuck that. No, Kareem is always going to push me forward. And Joe Garcia is always going to do the same thing for Kareem.
I think, yeah, I agree. I think that's why you and I have connected so well is because we don't have any egos. We're not here to like boast or brag. And it's fun. Like we do, don't get me wrong. We're like, yeah, man, we smashed it. Like you suck. You got to go. Like, we do that with each other. But it's never a place of like jealousy. Like we don't, we don't have that energy. And I think when you create a group of young men, young people, men and women, doesn't matter, around you that all have the same goals, there's no jealousy. It's just all about developing each other and we're all going after the same thing. There's a certain frequency that creates for your life that's just, you can't lose when you have that. And that's something that I really feel grateful for having when I very first got started in this business. And I wouldn't change any of it.
Yeah, yeah, and the cool thing too is that not only did you find that virtually with like me and like a lot of guys from the Discord and all that stuff, um, but you also found it in person in real life with your,
Yeah.
the team that you operate with. Talk to a little
Yes.
bit about that, about the pit. Tell us from A to Z what the pit is, what it looks like, what it sounds
Yeah.
like.
So I love the pit. I mean, so being on this team changed everything for me in real estate, changed absolutely everything. As you know, you heard from Joey, we were calling 8 hours a day, 8 hours a day, like every day, weekends too, and going on listing appointments every single day. Once we got good at setting them, we were going on 2, 3 a week, but I wasn't getting any of them, none of them. And then, I made an Instagram post in January of 2024. Yep. Where I was like, okay, like I want to meet people in my area here locally that are business, that like self-improvement, that are in sales, whatever. And I remember I was probably talking to you, Joe, and also another guy we know, Otis, about like I want to find someone here. Like I just need to see someone close so that I can believe it. So here I am. I'm putting this into the universe, and then childhood friend of mine, Wyatt, hits me up on Instagram. He's like, "Hey man, like I'm actually on this real estate team." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're on this real estate team." Yeah. He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "So what do you guys do?" He's like, "We cold call." And at this time, I only knew people who cold called from Discord and from the group. I was like, "There's no way." And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Call me right now and let's role play." I swear to God, he called me and we role played for like 35 minutes. And then I was like, "All right, you know what? Let's go see what this is about." And then I go visit the team. And ever since then, I mean, it's just changed my entire life. They helped me close out my deals. I think my first day I got a listing actually on the team.
That's
It was literally
incredible.
my
That's
first. It was
incredible.
like my second, but
And yeah, there you go, analytical ass. Talking about first day, second day. No, but and I always talk about the law of attraction and like manifestation and it just being real. I think the only way it works though is if you actually work it.
yeah,
So in January, you posted that post, but
yeah.
before January, you were working tirelessly. You were working you just talked about the 8 hours in the dialer, but you never talked about like the role plays before, after,
Oh
when we
no,
would call each other, yo, let's try this, let's try that.
I mean,
And look, you posted it in January. A couple weeks after you said it, maybe a couple days after, you connected with them. The first couple days you're there, you already started generating business.
yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah. So that's the thing. Like, what really served me, and it's interesting looking back at this. For a solid 6, 7 months, I just was spent building this pipeline. I was building this pipeline, and not just building this pipeline, but building a character. Like, I was not the same person as it was when I started from like this time before I joined the team, because it took a lot. I mean, there was times where like, I wanted to quit. I mean, nobody talks about this. There's times where like I was in my office in Weichert breaking down in tears because of how much the pain sucked. Like I'm spending $1,000 a month on this business and it's not working. I'm going to listing appointments 3 times a week and just getting slaughtered. I mean, I went on 50 listing appointments and lost every single one of them. I won one.
Oh my
And
God, that's crazy. Let's stick
yeah,
on that. Let's stick on that. Listen, listen.
okay,
You went on 50 appointments where you're able to acquire clients, and
yeah,
50 out of those appointments said, no, Kareem, we're not going
yeah.
to work with you.
Literally. Yeah. So, I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Looking back at it, probably a good 25 of them or half of them were actually like qualified, like people. But even still, I was going on a lot of like FISBO preview appointments and everything like that. And it amounted to nothing. This is me doing research on it, me doing like driving, me meeting with them, me getting like anxious before I meet. Like, that feeling when we first got started, like before you get the like little butterflies in your stomach.
Yeah.
And then, they ask you, so like, have you sold in our area? What else? You don't know how to handle those objections. And you're like you don't know what to say.
Wait. But let me ask you though, like, why didn't you quit? Like that's a lot. That
Yeah.
is a lot. Why didn't you quit?
So I definitely felt like quitting, but the reason why I didn't quit is for a few reasons. Number one, I just knew that if I don't make this thing work, all of my future dreams that I've ever had of ever owning a business, of ever being an entrepreneur, of ever just doing my thing would be gone. It wouldn't happen. If I didn't make this thing work, I was done. I'd have to like pack up shop and go to college or something like that. And I was just not going to do that. So I knew that for me to actually get to the end of my life and look back at my entire life and be like, that was a good life, I had to make this work. There was no choice. So I already knew I was going to win regardless. That was the first thing. Second thing, why else did I not quit? All those like motivational videos and like all those people, the successful people that say, you have to go through the hard, you have to experience the hard. Like we hear it. We're like, okay, sure. I just kept telling myself, this is what that is. This is the hard. Like when they say you have to get through the hard shit, like that is what I'm experiencing. And if I can't get through this, then I can't be successful. So those are some things I just kept reminding myself. And I would read my vision, my vision letter every single day of how I wanted my life to be. And on the days where I didn't even want to read it, where I was like, fuck this, I still did it. And we got through it. We're here,
When you first giving the first reason, about just like, if I don't conquer this now, what can I conquer in the future? Like, can I even achieve my goals? Can I? And I was thinking
Yep.
about it, and it's so funny because your second reason is you decided to choose the path of most resistance. But oftentimes, what does our coach always say? The people want the path of least resistance. Least
Yep.
resistance is where you don't build character, you don't build perseverance, you don't build leadership qualities, and it's incredible to see because in that moment your life can change, like the trajectory of your life can change completely. Like if you decided to stop real estate then and there because 50 people just told you no, oh, go cry about it, your life would
Yep.
be so different compared to what it is today. We're going backwards. Hold on. Let
Yeah.
me let me think about where I should take this. We talked about the path of least resistance. And we're talking about the path you chose. You have to go through this shit. You have to go through the hard stuff. You have to get people rejecting you constantly. You have to fail and we have to fail forward. So now when you look back, you got into real estate, real estate sales to curate a skill set to help people. Now when you look back and you look at where you are today, do you feel that you acquired that skill set, and like, is it being refined, is it perfect?
Yeah. No, that's so yes, I 100% feel like I've acquired that skill set. Is it perfect? No. No, it's constantly. I see. Here's the thing. Even where I've come to today, I still feel like I don't know anything. Like I still feel like I'm just this small little French fry that's just still growing, and it's so awesome because it shows that there's still more room to grow. So no, every single day I'm constantly getting better. Every single day I'm like role playing objections. Every single day I'm asking, well, how could I say this? How could I say that? Even for the guys that are new on our team that come here, I listen to them. I'm like, wait a minute, I think I could take that from them and use it on my call. So I don't just learn from people that like are above me. I still take things from people that are brand new because you can just say something and you're like, wait, I think I could take that and put it in my dialogue.
Again, it's just like that egoless mentality. And so now we talked a little about the past. We talked about the getting punched in the mouth by 50 people. You didn't quit, and you are who you are today. Last
Yeah.
month, you were just balling in California. You were staying at the Intercontinental. You were over here posting stories like if you were a freaking boss. Talk to me about what sales has done for your life. Like,
Yeah.
you just came off of these 2 crazy months in revenue. Talk to us
Yeah.
about that. Talk to us about, getting to experience vacations with your, fiance.
Right. Life now by the grace of God. But yeah, so I I remember I was, both Joe and I love Patrick Bet-David. I'm actually going to his conference this year, so I'm super excited. But he talked about this story about two different salespeople. The one guy that made 70 grand in 1 month, the other guy they made 70. One of them didn't celebrate it, and the other one did. And that one that did end up making more money, long story short, and that one kind of fell off. And I also learned this a lot from you, Joe, where early on I was just like, all right, dude, I don't deserve this. Like, I got to keep going. I got to keep going. I would just keep running. And then I just burn myself and I wouldn't really like have that fire. You talked a lot about you need to reward yourself. You need to reward yourself. Go on a nice date with your girl. Go enjoy yourself. Go get yourself a massage. Like, go to the gym. Like, just go enjoy yourself because your brain isn't going to like feel that reward. So that's why I went on that trip, and it really just solidified in my brain, like, where I've come in life, and like my standards have risen. So it's increasing your standard, not for like a materialistic way of like, I want to increase my standard of whatever, but like you want to increase all your standards of life, your standard of yourself in business, the standard of how you view your relationship and how you view your health and all those other things too. And I had a actually June was my best month of my life. July was following really good month too. And now we're trying to make that happen again for the rest of the year and continue.
Tell us about the landscape of that. Like, how many clients did you sign? How many people did you close?
If you give me 1 second, I can just pull that up real
So
quick.
while he's pulling that up, I'm going to talk a little bit about the excerpt that he was talking about in PBD's book. It's how to choose your enemies wisely. My favorite book of all time. So in the book, there's two salesmen. The first salesman they both make $70,000 in 1 month. The next month, one of the salesmen goes all the way down back to 7K, and the other one, salesman B, goes back up to 72,000. PBD was dumbfounded as to like what ended up happening. He brings both of the salesmen in, and he asks salesman A, the one that went down to 7K. He says, "Hey, what happened here? How did you go from 70K to 7K? Like, what did you do to enjoy your month?" He said, "I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't rest. I didn't recover. I didn't do literally squat." He goes to salesman B and he says, "What did you do to enjoy your month to go back to 72,000?" Salesman B says, "You know what? I went on a really nice getaway with my wife. I had a long weekend. I rested, I relaxed, and all this stuff." So the conclusion of that excerpt is, if you don't reward yourself, your body, when you put your body through so much just so much effort, so much pain, so much rejection, if you don't reward yourself at the end of that, your mind is gonna be like, what was worth it? Like, what's the big deal about this? What's the thing? So either, me and Kareem, we were stuck in the hamster wheel of like, we just gotta keep going, gotta keep going, gotta keep going. But there was a moment like last year where we both clicked. It's like, okay, wait, if we did sign a new client and we closed a deal and we made a couple grand, why not just like maybe enjoy a glass of wine or go to the movies or maybe go to the beach and enjoy your time? Why? Because we're still young. And
Yep.
what has that done for you? Like, I know you're pulling up your
Oh my
numbers.
God. It actually, you know what? I'm glad you bring that up because I called you, or I think you called me while I was at the gym on a weekend, and it made me just feel so fired up. It made me so energetic. It made me realize how much more to life there was, right? Because you're also surrounded with, you also see people who are doing things that you want to do as well when you go on nice trips and things like that. And I don't want to say like it just motivated me because I feel like, I have my own motivation, but it just fired me up. It did something to me internally where it just gave me it allowed me to also step back from the business instead of just constantly being in it, to like really look and be like, all right, so this is how my business looks like now. I don't really like this part of my business and I want to do this in the future. So let's change this, you know? We can get detailed about that later, but yeah, it just really fired me the hell up when I came back. Got me fired.
That always happens to me when I go back when I'm on vacation. I come back, I'm like, let's freaking go. So talk to me about the numbers. You pulled it up here.
Yeah. Okay. So in June, we signed three people in June, took three listings, had 9 closings, which represents 7 listings sold 2 buyers sold, and that's $42,000 in commissions after split before tax. 42K there. And then this month of July, which we just wrapped up, it's August 1st actually. We signed another 3 listings. We closed on 7 listings, closed on 7, and that represents $37,000 in
So 42 plus 37. If my mind is not playing tricks on me,
that's
that
like, yeah,
is $79,000 in revenue that you generated from yourself. Okay, okay. This is actually like so crazy to me because, dude, you just said like literally 10 minutes ago, 50 people told you no. Now you just came off like 80K in 2 months. How does that feel? And be honest, don't be like, come on, give me the real. How does that feel?
I mean, it feels good. It feels good. It does. It does. And don't get me wrong, it's still crazy because even though I closed that much, even though I had just the best 2 months of my life just in business in general, um, there's still that part of me that feels like I'm still not there. I'm still not there, which is like it's still there's still that part of my head that sometimes creeps in that's like, do you still got it? Like, are you still that you might still be that person from 2024 that gets nervous when he goes to a doorstep before he goes into an appointment. You still might be that person that doesn't know how to handle bring me a buyer from expired at 7:30 in the morning, you know? And like it's this weird thing where I still have to like battle my mind to remember who I want to be and be that person now. And I'm not that old me anymore either. So it's interesting. It's I love it. It's exciting. Don't get me wrong. It's amazing. But it doesn't stop there. Like I still have
Yes.
to keep
It
getting
doesn't stop there.
better.
Yeah. It doesn't stop
Hell,
there. It
hell
just
no.
goes to show, it just goes to show like um PBD talks about this. Like let's see what happens when 30K gets deposited into your account. Let's see if you're gonna wake up the next
Yeah.
morning and work. Because we've both talked about this a bunch of times. We're not doing it just because of the money. We're doing it because of things that happen in our life, things that we don't really talk about in public, things about that really motivates us, that like that fires us up. And that's why me and you connect so well because you're right. Like for 80K was nice in 2 months, but we could do more. We could do better.
Yeah. And that's something we talked about. I remember I called Joey. I was like, dude, like, fuck making 20K a month. Like, can we get to 200? What happens at 200? Like, what do we do? What do we do to get to 500 grand a month? You know? And I think having those conversations, that's what excites me. That's what really gets me going in the morning. And that's really what gets me going on a Sunday night when I'm planning my week out. When I'm like, okay, this week is dedicated to that crazy goal that I have that doesn't really seem possible now. But like, I already know that once I get there, I'm going to look at conversations like this and be like, wow, like that was awesome. So yeah, no, it's true. It's like what happens when you get that 30K deposit in your bank account in 10 days.
Are you gonna snooze your alarm or are you gonna freaking wake up? So you know this question like the back of your hand because I'm gonna ask it to you now. This is my favorite question, and we've been fucking throwing this question back and forth for the last 2.5 years since we know each other. But Kareem, your back has been against the wall time and time again, and if your back's against the wall tomorrow, who do you want?
Me, must be myself and I.